Steam's summer sale just flipped the buy switch, and factory sims are cheaper than lunch. I've lined up 8 of the best, starting with the one that turns basic geometry into pure time warp. Ready? Let's punch in and start stamping shapes. Shapez looks almost too simple at first. A flat white grid, a few belts, and little icons of circles and squares sliding around. Then you notice the price tag, 99 cents right now, and think, why not? 2 hours later, you're routing color mixers through a maze of splitters, the music is in a loop, and you're still whispering, just one more level. Every goal asks you to cut, rotate, or layer shapes in new ways, so the puzzle keeps refreshing before it ever feels hard. There's no map edge, no enemies, just the soft pressure of ever bigger quotas that teach belt logic without a single tutorial pop-up. Updates this spring shaved load times and added blueprint tweaks, so mega bases run smoother than ever. Reviews call it relaxing Tetris for the analytical brain, and the overwhelmingly positive badge backs that up. And yeah, at €1, it's the easiest buy on the whole sale. Now, if the first game is a clever board game, Shapez 2 is the 3D tabletop version with moving trains. It's in early access, 30% off, and already lets you stack factories on floating platforms, zip resources by rail, and zoom the camera through multiple layers like you're inside a living circuit board. The devs just dropped the Dimension update, adding vertical belts and smarter blueprints, and the feedback's sitting around 95% positive. Price is higher, about $17, but think of it as a DLC-sized sequel that's still growing. Grab it if you love the first or wish belts could climb into the sky. Here's the pitch. You manage a handful of cartoon colonists trapped inside a hollow asteroid. Their only problems are air, water, food, electricity, heat, germs, and morale. Nothing a clever builder can't solve. Every tile you dig reveals a new pocket of resources or a hidden hazard, so the base grows like an upside-down ant farm. Pumps shove oxygen into bedrooms, pipes cycle coolant past sizzling generators, and miles of wire keep the lights on. The simulation is deep but readable. Gases float, liquids drip, and the art style stays bright enough that even a maze of vents looks inviting. The game has been polished for years and just got 2 fresh DLC packs. One cranks the temperature down with icy biomes, the other adds biotech upgrades for critter ranching. So there's a mountain of content. Steam has it 70% off, about $7 or euros, which is small change for a colony sim that can eat 100 hours and still surprise you. If you love tweaking production chains and laughing when they leak, this is a must-grab before the sale ends. Techtonica drops you a kilometer underground on Calyx 9, hands you a mining laser, and tells you to power up a long-dormant facility. The caves glow with bioluminescent plants, but the walls are voxel clay. Dig tunnels any direction, then line them with belts, lifts, and smelters you print on the spot. Because the terrain is fully destructible, layout puzzles feel like sculpture. Open a cavern for a new assembly hall, or hollow a spiral shaft so elevators feed multiple floors at once. The recent Super Sandbox update added toggleable rules, infinite ore, hard survival, creative flight, plus 2 new maps for fresh starts. A quality of life patch smoothed frame rates and added proper key rebinding, so even mid-range rigs can hold steady when the belts get dense. Reviews sit at very positive, mostly praising the cozy atmosphere and the aha moments when a tidy loop replaces hand mining. Development has slowed while the tiny team looks for extra funding, but what's here is already a solid 20+ hour automation playground. It's 67% off, under €10 or dollars, a low-risk ticket to an underground light show of glowing factories. Captain of Industry is for everyone who looks at a bare map and immediately pictures conveyor grids. You start on a lonely island with a bulldozer, 2 rusty trucks, and a coal burner that drinks fuel faster than you can mine it. A few hours later, ore barges are docking at a concrete pier, blast furnaces are spitting out steel, and a city district is running on power you generated yourself. The map is fully deformable. Dig quarries straight through hills, dump the rubble into the sea to claim new land, then pave it all for another production hall. The June Trains and Balancers update finally added locomotives and smart belt mergers, so late-game lines glide instead of jam. Difficulty sliders let you play cozy sandbox mode, or dial up real-world shortages if you want every diesel barrel to count. User reviews stay firmly very positive, especially from players who enjoy closing loops. Sludge gets recycled, slag becomes concrete, nothing is truly waste. The summer sale knocks 30% off, landing around €24 or dollars. If you want a builder where every mountain you move has a purpose, this is the pick. The Planet Crafter drops you onto a dry, rust-colored world with a single target: raise the planet's life score. You slap down a wind turbine for power, bolt a breathable pod to the cliff, and start pulling ice from the ground to make oxygen. Every gadget inches the global gauges: pressure, heat, biomass, just a little higher, and the change is visible. Skies brighten, dust storms turn to rain, lakes fill old craters, and one day you walk outside to find grass between your boots. It's first person and easy on the eyes, so you can build a glass dome and actually watch moss grow beneath your feet. A free patch added 4-player co-op, perfect for splitting duties between mining, farming, and base design. Coming soon is the Moons expansion, promising fresh, celestial bodies with their own quirks and resources. Reviews hover at 96% positive, with players praising the steady dopamine drip of planetary progress. The game is 45% off, about €13 or dollars, right now, which is a small price for the chance to terraform an entire world over a lazy weekend. If you like factories but also enjoy watching your creations blast across a desert at rocket speed, TerraTech is the oddball you've been looking for. Think of it as an open toolbox. Every wheel, drill, battery, and laser cannon is a block you can bolt onto your rover in real time. Knock out an enemy's scout, scoop up the smoking parts, and click them onto your own frame before the next raid shows up. Back at base, you drop resources into collectors, refine them into higher-tier blocks, and set up automated silos so the raw stuff keeps flowing while you're off exploring. The map is fully procedural. Grasslands roll into salt flats, then badlands, so each new save nudges you toward a fresh design. Co-op lets a friend join and build their own tech on the same server, and creative mode hands you infinite parts for stress-free experimenting. Patch 1.6.7 ironed out frame hitches and finally made console crossplay stable. With the summer sale slicing 75% off, about €6 or $7, TerraTech is a cheap ticket to a scrapyard where imagination and explosions share equal billing. Satisfactory starts you on a postcard-pretty plateau with one instruction: automate everything. First, you hand mine iron and craft a smelter. 10 minutes later, conveyor belts crisscross the skyline, turning ore into plates, plates into girders, and girders into an ever-growing space elevator. The controls stay slick even as the scale ramps up. Splitters snap to belt lines, foundations grid snap for clean layouts, and a built-in planner lays out whole production towers before you spend a single screw. Exploration isn't just a scenic break. New biomes hide rare materials, and the wildlife occasionally reminds you that belts aren't the only things that bite. Update 1.1, fresh this month, killed the last big fluid headaches, added smart splitters that balance lines on the fly, and slipped in an analytics console so you can spot bottlenecks without staring at spreadsheets. Trains, drones, and hypertubes knit distant outposts into one smooth supply chain, and drop-in co-op means a friend can jump straight into the mess without hosting hoops. The game sits at 97% positive and is 30% off, around €27 or dollars, for the sale. If you get itchy fingers whenever you see an inefficient assembly line, this one will keep you scratching all summer. Dyson Sphere program lets you zoom from a single mining drill to a whole star system without a loading screen. You pilot a little mech across colorful planets, drop miners on iron, then launch solar sails that actually orbit the sun and feed your grid. Every step is readable. Belts glow blue when full, drones leave light trails, and the power graph shouts when you've bitten off more than your reactors can chew. Once one planet fills up, you hop in your warp drive, claim a moon, and set up interplanetary freight to keep the motors spinning. This summer sale trims 20% off, about €13.50 or $16 for a game that already offers 60+ hours before you even think about blueprints. The fresh Stellar Warfare branch adds defensive towers, hostile swarms, and better logistics planning, so there's more purpose to that megasphere you're building. Reviews are sky-high at 97% positive, with most players praising the smooth scale jump from backyard factory to galaxy-wide supply chain. If you want a project big enough to last the whole summer, this is your ticket to orbital engineering. And that wraps the 8 factory sims worth grabbing before the sale timer hits 0. Whether you're in the mood for neat 2D belt puzzles or a solar-sized mega project, there's a bargain waiting right now. Links are below, check the discounts, clear a few gigabytes, and let me know which world you're planning to automate first. If this list helped, a quick like or sub powers the channel. Happy building, and see you in the next blueprint.